Sun
Good
Health.
morning, Axel.
Good morning.
Princess says good morning.
That says good morning.
Good morning.
All right. So we're talking about prospecting, guys.
Good morning.
All right, that's enough. We're going to talk about prospecting and really hitting the ground running with prospecting. So everywhere that you are, everywhere that you're going, there are other people, right? There's other humans. And so if there are humans, there's the ability for you to do what? Get a name and get a number. And when you do that, that's how you're going to grow your business. That's how you're going to continue to always have people to talk to. Okay, so I yesterday was giving an orientation with one of our new people, and I was talking to them, and one of their questions was, well, where do we meet people at? Right. And I was like, well, you meet people every day, right? And she was like, yes. I was like, okay, so right there, like you're meeting them. It's just having the right questions to ask. I don't even want to say at the right time, because it doesn't matter. Like the timing doesn't matter. You just have to ask the questions. And so when this is, I'm going to teach you what I say when I prospect. That doesn't make what you're saying right or wrong. There, guys, here's the reality. There's no right or wrong way for you to get a name and number. Okay. There are, in my opinion, easier and harder ways for you to get names and numbers, which that's, kind of a whole nother conversation, I guess. But I'm going to teach you guys what I say, usually, and it's situational, right? So there's times where, like, if I'm at a waiter or if I'm at a restaurant, I'm going to do it a little bit differently than if I'm out and about at like a gas station or a 7-Eleven, or if I'm not in a place where I'm being like, I don't want to say served, because that sounds bad, but you know what I mean? Like, well, if I'm just out and about at the gym and I run into somebody, how do I do that there? Each one of those are slightly different conversations, but it's basically the exact same sentence, like the exact same string of questions, just with a little bit different, like a little different spice on each one. So, so the first one I'm going to talk about is if I am at a restaurant. So if I'm at a restaurant, what I'm going to do is I'm going to wait until after I'm done getting the bill. Okay. So a couple of reasons I'm doing that. Number one, Crystal, if they're terrible, I'm probably not going to want to work with them. Okay. So if the waiter or waitress is not very good, I'm not going to ask them if they keep their options open for work. So that's number one, because if they're never checking on me, they're probably never going to check on the clients, and that's a bad reflection of you. Okay. So yeah, what's that? Yeah, or if they're talking bad about their coworkers, their boss, or their manager, or the cooks, I'm like, I'm out. I don't need this. Like, I already got enough of this crap in my life. I don't need more, right? So assuming they do a decent job, I'm going to ask them, like, hey, Josh, you did a great job tonight. Do you plan on waiting tables here forever? And he's probably going to say no. And I would say, awesome. Well, hey, listen, man, my wife and I, we run a financial services business. I would love to chat with you and see if what we do would be a good fit. I think you could do well. When would be a good time for me to give you a call and just kind of set up an interview for you?
I don't know, Dan. Is this a pyramid scheme?
It definitely is a pyramid scheme. 100%. Yes, it is. But no, and I'll just ask them, like, hey, listen, like, I think you would do well. Let me get your number and I'll give you a call. And I'll text him my number, and I'll literally say, Josh, I'm going to text you so you have my number, right? And then I'll give you a call, and then I'll ask him, hey, what's usually a good time? What's better, mornings or nights, for me to give you a call? Then I'm not giving him a call to recruit him. I'm giving him a call to set up an interview, AKA talk to him and invite him to the op meeting. Okay. 9 times out of 10 cold market prospects, I use the op meeting. Okay. I'm not saying, like, if you got a waiter or a waitress and they're super sharp and they do really well with you, by all means, freaking meet with them one-on-one for sure. But, like, I am a fan of efficiency, if that makes sense. Efficiency. And I'm not trying to recruit a whole bunch of 3-point and 2-point people one-on-one. That's a long process of banging your head against the wall, hoping to magically have a gold brick fall out. Like, I'm not saying it's not going to happen. I'm just saying it's pretty unlikely that if you just sit there and do that, you're going to get frustrated. Whereas you could filter a lot of those people into the op meeting. Okay. And we do the virtual ops on Tuesday as well. So, like, well, Dan, I'm not in Tampa. Well, A, move to Tampa, and B, there is a virtual op meeting that you can use. So use that. Okay. So that's number one. The second thing is, if I'm at a gas station or if I'm just talking to somebody and it naturally comes up, like, what do you do? Oh, I do this. Okay, cool. I do this. Because if you ask people enough questions about themselves, a decent person's eventually going to do what? Put in the Zoom chat. What's a good person going to do usually? If you ask them a whole bunch of questions about them, what are they going to ask you about? Yeah, they're going to ask about you, right? So when they do that, you just, hey, what do you do? Well, I help people make and save money. That's one of the things I say. One of my new favorite things to say is I get people rich. I don't know why I've heard that. Yeah, if you're prospecting somebody like at the register and they're like, well, what is it? Well, it's not this. And so that's a good one too. But anyway, if I'm sitting at the gas pump or whatever, and the guy next to me, and I'll strike up conversations with people anywhere I can. And if that person is talking to me and I'm getting to know them a little bit, just what do you do? Do you have family around, local, blah, blah, blah. They ask me, what do you do? Well, I help people make and save money. Been doing it for a few years, super fun. I love it. And I'll turn it right back to them. How long have you been doing what you do? What do you love about it? What do you hate about it? And usually by that point, you're at the end of them pumping their gas. And so, hey, Angie, it was great chatting with you today. Obviously, I don't have enough time to give you all the details today, but based on what you were saying, I think you might really like and enjoy and be good at what we do. Let me text you my number and I'll have my wife give you a call. So she can schedule some type of interview or something like that. Right. And why did I throw Taylor in there to give Angie the call? Any guesses? Yeah, female. Yeah. So Angie's not like, this is weird. You're hitting on me. You're trying to pick me up and take me on a date. No, I'm not trying to take you on a date. I'm trying to recruit you and make you an RVP. I'm sorry. But people don't realize that a lot of times. So don't make it weird. Right. Hey, my wife and I always say, especially to when I'm prospecting like females, if I'm out and prospecting a female, hey, my wife and I own a finance business. Right? If you're females, hey, my husband and I run a finance business. So if you're not comfortable saying I run a finance business or anything like that yet, hey, I work with a guy that runs a financial business and we're always looking for good people. Same phrase of questions, right? The same phrase, just slightly different wordage. And then, yeah, another one, Shane Rudman is one of my favorite $1 million earners. He's got a nice little beard. He always wears a super fancy suit and flip flops everywhere. It's amazing. So one of the things that he says, John, I'll answer that in a second. So one of the things that he says is, I'm in charge of hiring and expansion for a Fortune 1000 company. We're in financial services. You're really sharp. I think you'd be a great fit. I'd love to give you a call and schedule an interview, see if it would work out for you. Something along those lines. And if you're like, Dan, I'm not running my own interviews yet. Well, A, there's a recruit audio and it's 7 questions. So learn it. And B, I work with a guy or I work with a girl that's in charge of hiring and expansion. And we're always looking for sharp people. And it's the guys, those are like, if everywhere you go, you should be talking to people. Okay. Now, what I will say, and one of the places, like there's 2 places that I am a little bit more passive on getting names and numbers because I don't go there to prospect. It just naturally happens because people want to know what you do and then they're interested and stuff like that. The gym that we go to, I'm not there for the sole purpose of prospecting people at the CrossFit gym that we go to. Do I prospect people there? 100%. Probably have 200,000 or 300,000 in assets under management, 5 or 6 policies from the gym, at least. Probably will be more than that soon. I'm closing a bigger investment later this month, probably from a guy there. But that is, for me, that is where I go to work out. That is where I go to live my life. Like I go there anyway. I'm not going to sit there and say, you got to join my business and you got to join my team. And I'm not like Oprah out here handing out IBAs. Like I'm just going to let people naturally come to us. So playing the long game. Now, same thing at church. Like I go to church to get like spiritually fed and connected and like learn stuff. I'm not there to grow my business necessarily. Does it happen? Yes, 100%. Like people ask all the time, what do you do? And it's just naturally happens. And then they're interested and then you meet with them and then you tell them what you do. And then they want to join or they want to buy something. If guys, listen, if you get nothing else out of what I'm talking about to you right now, it is that if you do what you should do, which is talk to people and ask questions, you will constantly have people to talk to. Well, Dan, I don't ever see anybody. I'll never talk to anybody. Well, leave your house, go outside, right? When you get gas, go inside, pay for it at the counter instead of at the pump with your card. Right? Don't go through the drive-through, walk inside. You shouldn't go through the drive-through anyway, because it's garbage food. But if that's your choice, if you like to put ticking time bombs inside of your body, great, go for it. But go inside and buy them. Don't go through the drive-through. Like, put yourself in all of these different, put yourself in places where you can have as many conversations a day as possible. Because that's where recruits are coming from. You're like, Dan, how are you like, I closed 18 grand in premium last month or something like that. 15, 17, 18,000 in premium, like 10 already this month. How? Through conversations with humans. That's the secret. Well, Dan, I'm not good with people. Well, great. Get better with people then. It's a skill. It's literally skill with people. That book by Les Gobin. How many of you have been reading that book? At least once a week. It's like 10 seconds long. Yeah, Angie's just grabbed it and held it up right away. The better you are with people, the more money you're going to make especially in a people-driven business, which this is. John, you said, what about if you don't have a spouse in the business? Like, if you don't have a spouse, you are married though, right, John? Yeah, so just say the same. It's still your business, like it's still your whole family business. And when you start running more appointments and setting more appointments and doing the right stuff, like, you'll start making money. She will be more involved, I promise. Like, you start making money, she will get more involved. I guarantee it. Maybe not to the point where she's running appointments and doing all the things and getting on everything, but she'll care a little bit more about it when it's, it becomes a business and not a hobby. Right. And that's, I would challenge you there and tell you, like, go make a little bit of cash and let her see it and tell her, like, hey, I just made $500 on a kitchen table. Right. Those of you that don't have, I don't want to say that, John, and I'm not saying your spouse is not supportive, but if there are people on the call that don't have super supportive spouses, and it is what it is. So I just want to address that real quick as well. Guys, look, like, if you're frustrated that you're not getting the support, think about any other time that you've started something and not followed through with it. How many times have you started this thing and not done it? Or you're going to go to the gym and you didn't do it, or you're going to do this and you didn't do it, or you did it for a day and you quit because it was hard. Like, think about how many times that you've quit on things that you've said you're going to do in the past, right? And we didn't follow through with those things. I'm not trying to beat you up this morning. That's not the purpose of this, but, like, if we want people to support us and to follow us, give them a reason to support you and follow you. Right. And then John, excuse me, what I would say, where you at? For your question, John. So she's just same thing. I mean, it's the same script though. Like, I would say, hey, my wife and I have a business. It's your wife and you, I'm assuming, do finances together. I'm assuming you guys have conversations about life. Like, I would say she's at least moderately involved in the business, whether or not she's ever on calls or listening. You talk to her about it, I'm sure. So, hey, my wife and I have a business that we run. I'm one of the people in charge of hiring and expansion. I'd love to show you what we do. And just little things like that. And if you don't want, if you don't want to say that, then don't say that. Hey, I'm in charge of whatever. Or you could also say, John, I'll give it to, one of my hiring managers. She'll give you a call. Like, if you want to make it so if it's like you prospecting a female situation, not trying to make it weird, like you're trying to get her number or whatever. Hey, I'm going to give your number to one of the ladies that I work with, and she'll give you a call to schedule an interview. And then give it to Karen, and she can call and set up the interview for you. And then she could run it, you could run it, whatever. It doesn't necessarily matter who runs it, but that'll remove that obstacle if that's what you're trying to avoid. Yeah, like Karen just said, leverage your trainer. Exactly. So any questions around prospecting, guys? I hope that was helpful. I know we've heard all of those things a lot of times, but sometimes we just need a refresher. Any questions, thoughts, anything like that on what we just talked about? No? Awesome. All right. Hey, we're going to the docks. You guys, remember, we're going to 150 on the docks. Pushing to 150 on the docks. We're going the wrong way. We're at 124. A couple of us going way the wrong way. A couple of us going maintaining. All right. So, hey, today I have 2 recruits and a KT. I'm not real sure why I have so little appointments today, but it is what it is. So we'll set a bunch today. Karen, 17.
4 recruits and an orientation.
4 recruits.
Setting more. Guilty, I went down some because I didn't keep it at what I had.
Awesome. Well, we fixed that today, right? We can get that, at least get 6 set today. Josh, what you got today?
Yes,
3 recruits, 1 IBA. Or no, 1 kitchen table, sorry. 3 recruits, 1 kitchen table.
3 and 1, nice. And then let's see, Cass 11. Elliot 11 or 6, my bad. Elliot 6. Angie 6.
I have a interview this morning and a touch base with one of my people, with my teammates.
Nice. Good job. Brian 5.
I had nothing today.
All right, cool. Hey, we break 10 today, then we're gonna go set 5 up today, right?
Yep.
Awesome. And try you can set same day stuff too. Don't worry, you can do that. Just hey, when you're going to set up the appointment, instead of saying like what's better, Wednesday or Thursday, hey, what's better, today or tomorrow? Set up the same day something. And guys, we do not count op meetings as appointments. Just FYI. So if you got like 3 people coming to the op meeting and that's counted as personal appointments, personal recruits, they don't count as appointments. Okay, so don't count people going to the op meeting as appointments. Number 2, what you got today?
I actually have training with some of my people today. But I do plan on booking a bunch of appointments because my new recruits are posting. So we're going to get into scheduling for them.
Awesome. Do you know how to fill this out, or do you need me to show you today?
I attempted to do it when I was in your office and it looks really weird on my phone and I haven't opened it.
Oh
since
yeah,
then.
don't do it from your phone, do it from your computer. I'll show you how to later. I'll show you later. Bring your computer to the office tonight.
Oh.
All right. Hey, what's up, guys? So listen, tonight's training, lots of new recruits over the last 10 days or so. Call your people, get your people on the meeting tonight. Coach them on how to change their name, redemption with their name in front of it, just so we can keep track of who's on. Guys, we're like pushing 35 to 40 on every week. 37 is the record we have since we started this run in December. There is 0 reason we can't break that tonight. I was doing a lot of maintenance with our people here in Tampa, like our new people in Tampa. I think we're going to have a record attendance in the office tonight. So if you're local, get to the office, whatever you got to do, call out early, call in sick, bring babysitter, whatever you got to do. We'll have our kids up in our office. So I don't care, whatever you got to do, get there. Those of you that are not local, be on Zoom, cameras on. Hey, also, let me stop